Hello my dear YouTuber friends, and I do hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video. This is Back to Basics 24, the group flight. Essentially what we're going to do and what we're going to be doing, we got a number of people with us live at the moment. We're going to be following some of the techniques we've learnt in Back to Basics videos that we've done previously, so the Back to Basics series. So in this flight we're going to be doing autopilot shenanigans, ILS landings, VOR, and even a little bit, let me just get into my cockpit, that was the wrong button, there we go, a little bit of navigation using the G1000's map, built-in map as well. So a fair few tricks and tips. Okay, let's not dilly-dally. Let's get on with this video. Okay, chaps, so we're set up at runway 26 right at Charles de Gaulle Airport. If you jump into your aircraft, if you're in external view like me, I'll jump inside. If you could set an altitude of 1400, let me just brighten up my displays there. Autopilot assigned altitude 1400 feet. It'll be pretty much the altitude we'll be keeping for most of the flight. I'll come on to that a little bit later. And what we're going to do, I did leave a spoiler in the chat. If you can set up on your navigation radios, for those of you who don't know, if you look at your left G1000, you've got a navigation knob. Hopefully you've watched a few of my Back to Basics videos. You've got the inner knob and outer knob. Now, I'm going to say this properly, the inner knob, which will be this little smaller knob, and the outer knob, the bigger knob. They will change your navigation radios readings. If you can set it please to 108.50. And let me know, anybody, if you're not sure of how to do that. So nav 1, 108.50.
Okay. I'll bite.
Yep.
You mean an instruction again? Yes, done.
Yeah, so in your nav one, if you look at your left G1000, you've got a nav, you've got two knobs next to nav, just under nav. You've got the bigger knob and the smaller knob. If you move the bigger knob, it'll change the numbers before the decimal.
Okay.
And you want to put it on 108, and the outer knob will change the numbers after the decimal. Decimal 50. You okay?
No, still on 115.
Are you using a mouse? Are you using a mouse or a...
I'm using a mouse. I mean, yeah, it's...
Yeah, mouse, it's easier to hover over it and roll the wheel.
Yeah.
15.
You have to make sure the number you want to change is on the left-hand side at the top.
Yeah.
So it's decimal 5 and 114, or what?
It's 108.50. So 108.50. That'll be the ILS for Orly, runway 6.
Okay. No, I got 108, but I can't get the 50.
The 5, you want to use the outer knob. So, sorry, the smaller knob.
The smaller part, yeah.
And that's on your V-lock, isn't it, on the Garmin 530?
I'm using the G1000. Yeah.
I think ideally everybody should be in the G1000.
Yeah.
I'm old school, but I'll be okay.
Oh, well, you know what you're doing, Tony.
Sometimes.
So let me know, chaps, if you have that set up.
Nav 1, yep. I'm on.
Yeah, we won't make it active yet. We'll wait for that because we're going to be using GPS on the first part of the flight. So what we're going to do first, we're going to take off, but we're going to practice a bit of trimming. It's a Back to Basics video, so we're going to trim our aircraft up to 1400 feet and hold it just for a few seconds, and then we'll activate autopilot. So if you're all set, we can take off. So I'll lead the way there. My feet on my old Velocity 1 rudders, that's good. So we're just going to trim up for this first part of the video. Trim up to 1400 feet. So I'm going to give myself a climb up about 1000 feet per minute. Just using trim. And depending what aircraft you're flying on, a G1000, you can see next to the altitude ribbon there on the right, so on the left G1000. Try and hold your runway heading, by the way.
Jack, please.
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear. Next to the speed ribbon, you got a number just to the right of that, and that's your vertical speed rate of climb. So I'm going to trim up for about 1000 feet per minute climb. A bit beyond that, so I'm just going to trim that down again. There we go. Everybody with me so far? Let's check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, come on.
So I'm coming up to 1200.
Here we go.
So I'm just going to trim down, lessen that rate of climb now. I'm coming up to 1300. Pull my throttle back, maybe 10% or so. Just use my trim. I'm just going to hold it now. Trim down. Hold it at that 1400 feet altitude there. I can use a bit of my throttle, just decrease a little bit. And trim. Not making it easy on myself, I'm using the buttons on the XPC yoke, but it does work. There we go, just above 1400 feet. But that will go. Has everybody maintained that? Managed to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just about.
Good. Don't forget flaps up, guys. If you haven't.
Okay. When you're happy with that you've maintained that, you managed to do that, you can stick it onto autopilot and nav mode.
Nav.
And if you're in the same position roughly as me, it should be, GPS should be in green, so it's locked onto our course now. If you haven't locked on, if GPS is not locked on, you've got roll there. Just wait a bit longer and GPS should blink green for you if you're heading in that general direction.
Live weather's cleared up a bit if anyone's interested.
Great. Okay, Tango, this is what challenge for you and for everybody. Just ahead of us there, you can probably just make out the Eiffel Tower. And if you know the Eiffel Tower, you can see a couple of arcs in there. Now, people, if you're not sure about this, you don't need to do this part. So I'm going to leave this for the people who want to do it. Couple of arcs. And we're going to fly, basically, I'm going to fly under the main arc, the bottom arc of the Eiffel Tower, as we get closer. So if you look at your left G1000, look at your left G1000, you can see we've got about 7 nautical miles it's showing for me before we get to our first waypoint of our course. When it's about 1 nautical mile, I'll take it off autopilot, and then we should be heading straight towards the Eiffel Tower. But I'll take it off autopilot, fly under it. Once you've flown under it, you need to put your throttle back to full and get back up in the air, but we'll put it back into autopilot and nav mode, and you may need to use a bit of vertical speed. If you're not sure of this part, if you're not sure you can do this part, chaps, don't worry. This is very much a back to basics video. I've got 2 nautical miles showing when it's reaching 1 in purple there. I'm going to take it off autopilot and go for it. You probably need to well, I'll leave you to it. I'm going to decrease my throttle to about 70% at least, but you need to put that throttle back in once you get under those arcs. My goodness, there's a lot of trees there, by the way, depending what scenery you have installed. I've got the Orbix Paris scenery, and it puts a lot more features on the map, as you found out, Steve.
Yeah, and I can thoroughly recommend that Orbix for £9. That's very nice, and
Yeah.
it runs beautifully too. It's very pretty.
Really fills in Paris, doesn't it?
Yeah.
PC only, is it?
No, Xbox and PC.
Marketplace.
Right, autopilot off. I'm going to head towards the Eiffel Tower there. So just decreasing my throttle to decrease my altitude.
Champs, are you training us to be X-Wing pilots here?
Bit of an upgrade to see
Next-
next to an X-wing.
Next flight, attacking the Death Star.
Red 1, Red 5, standing by.
Should have picked that JBM Field 3. I could probably do it inverted.
Don't forget, chaps, once you get under this tower, there's going to be obstacles on the other side of that Eiffel Tower. You need to get back up in the air sharpish if you're doing this.
There's
If
a
there's
lot
a
of
mime,
trees.
I'm just going to hit it. If there's a mime there, he's gone.
A lot of trees.
Anybody selling onions or a mime, dead history.
Okay, so the second arc, eh?
If you
there's
fancy
no
it.
trees there. Yeah.
Hope somebody's recording that part. So I get my view ready so I can see behind me. That's risky going under this, but I'll try.
I should have turned turbulence down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit bouncy.
So I'm just putting some speed back in there because I'm.
It's about 500 feet, 450 to 500 feet, I think.
Oh, I can
Five-
see
yeah,
Wombo
500
Way
feet.
going for it. Well done, Dave. Lovely, lovely. There's Wombo Way just there. Oh, did you manage it? Yep, you did.
Yeah.
Under we go. And back on the throttle quickly. Back up in the air. Told you. Autopilot on. And you might need to use a bit of vertical speed now. There we go. We're back in business. Let's get outside. Let's just see. Oh, yeah, I can see you all coming under it. Lovely.
Let's run through the second one. That's great fun. I'm going to do that on the
Fantastic.
Vertigo when they come back.
There we go. What a lovely view that is. My goodness, I can see Tango going for it. Go on. Oh, did you? Oh, you managed it. Good.
Oh,
Don't ask me why. He's just behind, just going for it. Oh, he seems to have stopped. Don't ask me why. Did you bang into the tower by chance, my friend?
I did.
Oh no. Gonna cause an obstruction. You're gonna have about 50 planes now smashing into. Don't ask me why.
I'm going to come
Very
back
good.
and pause to see us going through.
Absolutely lovely. Wow.
Are we holding here?
No, back onto autopilot. It should lock onto your GPS. You might need to use vertical speed to get back up to your altitude. Sorry, chaps, I had to throw that challenge in.
Oh, that's weird, Dave.
which one?
You sort of humpbacked over the top of it. It's very strange. You hit it, and then you raise up really quickly a couple of hundred feet, and then you go down over the top. It's very weird. Okay, Moose P coming through, followed by Blue Boy. Yeah, oh, it must be the big arse through. No, he's not. Clips on it.
What a lovely view. Looks fantastic. Just seeing you all going under that was brilliant. Really good.
Okay, I think that's everybody.
Okay, so chaps, back on the GPS, and now we've got 16 nautical miles on my range at least. Once we reach our next waypoint off our map, that's when we'll activate our nav 1. You need to put it into heading mode. I would sync your heading bug, so click on your heading mode knob with your left mouse button and right click. That will sync it to your current heading. Just see the blue heading bug. Sync to your heading. We'll be following heading once we reach our next. We'll put it into nav 1. Let's just talk about this. So we'll activate nav 1. You've got to swap nav just above the nav knob, basically. Swap nav, so that will activate it. You, at the bottom of the G1000, you've got a CDI button. We'll put that, I'll show you on screen. We'll put that into lock 1, localizer 1. And in heading mode, you want to head about 160 degrees because we've got to find that intercept course for the ILS, which is quite deep for runway 6, as you'll see. So does somebody need me to repeat that?
Yes, please.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so once we get to our next point of our course, our next nav point, we'll activate our nav 1. So the frequency we put in before, 108.50. Activate it using swap nav, just above your nav knob there. And then at the bottom of the G1000, you've got a button called CDI. If you click it now, it's going to take you off GPS mode, just be aware. But if you click that, it'll put you into localizer 1 once we get there. We'll follow a heading, put it into heading mode. So put it into heading mode with your left buttons there, left bank of buttons. Heading select, and we'll choose a heading select of 160, roughly. Is everybody
James,
okay?
James, my original flight plan actually didn't load, so I'm like flying by the knob here, so I actually don't even know where I'm going.
Okay, you could still put in a frequency and follow us, and you should still lock on to
with the 110.50, right?
108.50, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you put that in and activate it later, I'll tell you, you'll see us turning. Basically, that's when we've reached our next navigation point.
No, repeat our last instruction. Instruction, please.
Yeah. Do you need me to? We've got
Yes,
time.
please, yes.
Yeah. So we're going to activate once we start turning, and once we're fixed on our next course line. We're going to activate our nav 1, so that'll be swap nav, just above the nav button.
Yep.
We're gonna once we're fixed on it, we're gonna put it into heading mode, heading select, and we're gonna follow a heading course. Your heading course, by the way, is to the left of your compass on your G1000, your left G1000. That's your heading course. You're gonna follow a heading course of 160.
Okay, that's what I missed before.
Yeah, and then it will. You'll see the. I'll show you what.
They do. Right. Oh, that's it. Oh, that thing.
But you will need to switch it into CDI lock 1 basically, as well.
You can set your heading course now if you want.
Yeah, I'm still following nav GPS, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I missed that course earlier on. That's why I wanted to reiterate.
If you turn the heading dial now, you can set it to 160. So when you hit the button,
Yeah, I'm
it's
there.
automatically.
Yeah, I'm there. I just didn't know what course.
Actually, good point. Yeah, you can set your heading course. Yeah, that'll be easier for people. Well done, Sean. Yeah, it was Sean who mentioned it, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I've not got my eyes on Discord at the moment, so just so 160. I can do that now. So for those at home watching this, when I move my heading bug, this blue one here, this course in blue here, that's what I'm assigning. If I hit my heading button now, it will fly to that course 161 I've got it set at. I'm not going to do it, I'm going to wait till the turn, which is imminent. We're coming up to it now, there we go. Just about to turn. All very straightforward. Just check behind
on the
me.
waypoint.
Yep. So I'm going to wait till I've locked on to the new line, course line. Wait till I'm aligned with it. It's a bit of a U-turn. I see people following behind, that's great. Lovely. So I'll talk you through this. I'm going to do this slowly once I'm locked on again, so you can just follow what I'm doing, basically. So there we go. I'm just about to align with the new course line there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make nav 1 active. You may need to hold your left button and right click if you're not on nav 1, by the way, if it's not highlighted. Nav 1.
Yeah,
Press the swap nav. Put it into CDI mode, so CDI is at the bottom of your left G1000, so it's localizer 1 mode, and activate heading mode, heading select. So there you go, the aircraft's turning us to our course of 161 in this case. And what we're going to do there, if you're in lock 1, you see green lines, you've got 2 arrows pointing upwards, which is a good sign, means we're heading some way towards it. You've got that line that needs to conjoin with the other lines, the center line. So we're going to fly this course till you see that line moving down. Once it is, just move your... It's quite complex. Move your heading bug, basically, back towards the green arrow, pointing upwards. So not yet. Once that center line starts to come down, to conjoin with these other 2 lines, we'll move our heading bug to try and maintain that heading, which will be a perfect heading if you have them perfectly aligned for runway 6. Is everybody okay? Have you followed that?
Yeah. It's okay. I'm right behind you. I'm heading at 160.
Okay. So just to simplify that, we've got these 2 arrows here. We've got a big arrow on that green line, lock 1, and the small arrow. So the big arrow is basically heading... Once the lines are conjoined, it means we will be heading straight towards the runway. This smaller arrow here means we're heading some way towards that localizer. If it was on the other side, it means we'll be heading somewhat away from it. So that's the idea.
Hitting the approach button as well before?
No, we'll do that when we see the glide slope indicator come down.
So are you heading at 60 degrees now? Heading at 160?
I'm 161 in fact. Roughly 160,
right,
161.
You're going a different direction to me, and I'm on 160.
Oh.
I've just turned, but... So I'm still behind you, I don't mind.
Okay.
It's just the first time using Discord now, so it's all a bit new to me. So.
It's a bit tricky if you're not watching my screen, really, but it's similar to what we've covered before.
Yeah.
So there we go. It's quite a deep localizer, this one. We do have to come some way down. And it's the idea, if you're going to line up with a localizer, you know it's going to be off the line, your course line. Give yourself time to line up to it. So make your course, you know, this is why we're heading 160 degrees. We could head 180 if we didn't have, if the localizer was a little bit nearer. I know it's quite a while away. If you range out on your right G1000, you can see we've still got some way to go to Orly. But you want to give yourself time to line up the localizers, so there's no way around this. You do need to line them up to be perfectly aligned with the runway, basically.
So is the airport we are heading to Lima, Foxtrot, Papa, Oscar?
It's... Lima, yeah, it is. Absolutely, yes. LFPO, yeah.
Because for me, it's basically due east, so not 160.
Yeah, we're heading 160 to line up the localizer lines. We're lining up the ILS, basically. So we're heading 160 to get... If you look at your lock 1 on your left G1000, you've got a line that's not aligned with the other 2 lines. So once that line starts to move down, we'll head due east, roughly. Or towards the big arrow on the localizer. Have you not watched my videos? Guys, if anybody else can explain that a little bit... Oh, there we go, it's moving. I'm going to move my heading bug quickly. Back towards that green arrow. I'm going to have to move it beyond to the left of it now, because I know that I'm just about to miss it. Only just. But the lines now are conjoining. They're all joining up together, which means we're in line for that runway. We're going to be aligned, essentially, for that runway. Are you all okay? Can you see your green line moving in yet?
Yes.
Great. Yeah. So move your heading bug quickly towards that big green arrow, basically, on the localizer line. The big pointy thing at the top.
I'm just saying, if you hit the approach button, it will line it up for you automatically.
Oh, I see. Okay. Ah, well, we're going to do it a slightly different way. We're going to wait till that glide slope indicator comes down, and then we know. But it's good to do these things manually sometimes as well. Good practice.
Which runway are we heading for?
Repeat that. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Which runway at Orly are we heading for?
Runway 6 at Orly.
Is it LFPO we're flying to?
It is, yeah. LFPO, yeah. Guys, did hopefully one or two of you managed to do that? Was it okay for some of you?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. That's the whole idea of the video, really, just to teach, or just to go over old tricks, shall we say. And you can see at the top there of your left G1000 exactly... Actually, if you go to your bottom buttons, I'm going to just teach you something else here. You've got something called PFD Options, or PFD Opt. If you click on that, you've got a new button come up called DME, Distant Measuring Equipment. And it will give you the exact range to the localizer. In my case, it's 10.4 nautical miles. Slightly different to the heading you'll have in purple at the top of the G1000.
10.6, yeah.
Did you all get that?
Yeah, I've got that.
Great.
Says
Yeah,
10.6
yeah.
on mine.
So there we go, I got it all perfectly aligned. I can see the runway flashing ahead of me there, which is great. So we know we're lined up.
So what bearing should our localizer be on anyway? Because mine's adjusted and it's just not. Oh, now it's coming to. Okay, thank you.
You got it?
I was about to say, yeah, it just came in very late. That's
Yeah, it does come in. It's quite a deep line, this alignment.
because I adjusted my course to get that to like the manual we did with the manual, and it's I don't know what the actual course of that localizer is. So I've adjusted it to CRS.
Yeah, I think it's 061.
Yeah.
061. Okay. And
I'm going to start under autopilot, chaps. Reduce your speed to about 1900 RPM if you're in the G1000s. Cessna 172. 1900 RPM. It'll put you to roughly stage 1 flap speed. Take advantage before the glide slope indicator comes down, because you'll be going a lot faster when descending under autopilot. So I've done that, so I'm just getting roughly towards, hopefully, stage 1 flap speed. About 7 nautical miles out from the, on the DME, distant measuring equipment there, from the localizer. So there we go. Stage 1 flaps. Take advantage. Don't worry about the localizer line. As you get closer, it's going to get a little bit more twitchy. Just try and keep it centered as best you can. And before long, that glide slope indicator will start moving towards the center. So again, you want to hit your APR button, approach mode, on your left G1000 to the left of the left G1000. There we go. Glide slope indicator's coming down, so I'll just wait a little bit longer till it gets nearer to the center. You don't have to, you can click at any time, it's just things I like to practice there. Gonna watch my speed, I'm slowing down a little bit too much there. But we're gonna speed up as soon as we hit the approach mode. Hands off, the autopilot will now take over. You should have lock highlighted in green on your left G1000. So you should have a lock, which means you're locked onto the localizer. And easy peasy. Looks like a Baker Fly is going to take us in there.
Trying my best to just look at the instruments from out the window.
Yeah.
So far I'm okay. Thanks for your instruction. Perfect.
Great. That's good to hear. It's not the easiest thing. It's easier to watch a video. It's not easy when you're hearing a voice explaining all these strange dynamics. But I hope it's somewhat helpful.
That's why you've got 35, 40 people in here, James.
Great.
Because it's helpful.
We've got one more way going in there.
Cool, I should have done more homework.
I'm just going to go to
study period.
Stage 2 flaps, take advantage, you're under autopilot. You want to be around 70, well, it's up to you, I'm going to be around 60 knots ideally by the time I'm over the threshold.
So are you actually landing in autopilot, or do you take it off?
No, I'll take it. Never land in autopilot. It's up to you. You can do, but it doesn't flare, so you're just gonna bang on the runway basically.
The Kodiak won't. Sorry, this one won't. The Kodiak is pretty good. It sometimes does that quite well.
Really?
Yeah, I've landed at 2 or 3 airports and it's just left it. The only thing it won't do is slow down. Obviously, to the runway you've got to lower the throttle, but you can do it completely hands
Oh, I've got
off.
a lovely view
flight.
there. Right, nice.
Yeah, I did watch one YouTube.
Okay, so the stupid thing is just switched itself off.
Ninja about to land there. Mango, if you're with us.
James, are you going the wrong way?
No, I am. Yeah, it switched itself. The autopilot switched itself off for some reason, and the
Really?
approach switched itself. Yeah, it just shut itself off.
Ah,
So
It's actually an autopilot short key for the keyboard.
I'll come back. Let's just get it on approach.
are you in VR, Steve?
No.
Oh, right, okay. There we
It's
go.
just a honeycomb thing.
Is it? Oh, it's
Yeah,
frightening. I'm
probably.
using the honeycomb. Don't say that.
The original
That'll be
honeycomb,
disastrous. There we go. Let's bring it to a stop there. And get outside just to see the rest of your landing.
Backline slope. And again, it's turned itself off again.
Ah,
You know, I've never had a problem with my honeycomb at all.
no, touch wood, not yet. I haven't. Red Ruff. Very nice. If you're with us, yeah, looks like it. Curious Bee coming in.
For some reason, it's
Disco Dave
defaulting
there.
itself to heading. It's the heading mode on the heading bug is overriding it.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's alright. Don't worry about me. That's fine. I'm at the back. It should line itself up in time. I'm on pro. Oh, yeah, stop turning yourself off, autopilot.
Very nice, Disco Dave, like a pro there. Very nice and slow. And Dan Lance, very nice. A Moose, very good.
Sorry, what runway was it?
Runway 6. It's where we all are just now. Pretty much, we're all over it.
I'm on steam gauges, so I'm just
Oh.
having some fun with live weather.
Nice, are you in a Cessna 152 then?
No, the 172, but I
Oh, I
bought
see,
the
Skyfox.
Premium.
Yeah.
Does that mean you've come in with like a 25 knot tailwind as well?
And Gundog coming down. There's quite a few of you here. That's great.
I've got 18 knots.
It's just quite a view of the sunset that I've got. Everyone coming in just in front of the sunset.
It's beautiful lighting.
Nice. So if you lined up roughly runway 6, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just lined up. Right, okay, I'm just going to show people at home. I'll talk you through it as well. Let me go to my OBS settings here and switch you to little nav map. Fantastic as always. Now, we do have a VOR, and the identifier for the VOR is CLM. And using the nav1 again, we're going to input a frequency of 112.90. So I hope you're all up on your VORs. Bit easier to follow a VOR than ILS, so there's a couple of tricks we can use here. So in your nav1, just showing people at home, this is where we are, Orly. This is where the VOR is, and this VOR, once we reach here, we're going to swing back round to Charles de Gaulle Airport on an ILS heading again. Yes, Mr. Doggy, you can join in too if you want to. Okay. Right, let's get back. That's okay.
So we're doing a return journey, basically.
We're doing a return journey. So,
Yeah.
Chaps, I'll mention that again. 112.90. Go back to your nav 1 and input that code 112 using your knobs again. So 112, larger knob for the numbers before the decimal, decimal 90. And you can activate that immediately. If you're on the DME page, you need to go to the back button on the bottom of your left G1000. To the right bottom there. Go back.
112 decimal.
1290.
Does that give us a course of 61 degree?
Yep, it should do if you activate it.
Yeah. Just making sure that I have.
Don't worry about that. What we can use now, to your right of your left G1000, you've got a CDI knob, and with VORs you can actually tune it in manually. So I think we have to mouse up. Yep, on that CDI knob, we do indeed mouse up, and you'll see the lines will conjoin magically. Are you all following that?
No, it's turning, but nothing's happening. What am I looking? What?
So let's just.
Yeah,
The little one in the middle, not the one on the outside.
Yeah, it's the. So basically, I'll talk you through that again. You want to type in a code, input a code in your nav 112.90. If you activate it, swap nav, you should see the identifier CLM come up, and 112.90 should be in green. Is everybody okay there?
So what's activated?
No.
What am I pressing to activate it again?
Oh, swap nav. Sorry, it's swap nav. So you got your nav knob. Just above that, you got your swap nav.
Yeah. That's come up.
Yep.
No, I'm getting nothing. I'm pressing my swap nav and it's doing nothing.
Now, which nav have you got highlighted? Nav 1 or nav 2? So your blue box around
Nav
numbers.
1.
Nav 1. Okay. So have you? You've input the code 112.90.
Yeah, that's spot on. Yeah.
Are you in CDI 1 on your CDI? Are you in? Sorry, VOR 1. It will be now.
Where is that?
So CDI, bottom of your left G1000. You might need to go back if you're in the DME screen. If you're in the distant measuring, you might need to press the back button, the bottom right of your G1000. Just show people at home. So the back button. If you've got up, for example, wind, DME, bearing 1, bearing 2, if you've got that screen, click your back button.
I've got it highlighted on the stream if anybody needs to see it. Just give us a shout and I'll point it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good now.
Good now, yeah.
On the mouse, see, my mouse isn't working still, so I'm on the controller.
Okay, so if you can use, can you locate the CDI knob to the right of that left G1000?
Yeah, I've got EDI. I'm all back up. I've got green 112.90.
And you're all lined up. All your lines are lined up.
Yeah.
Yep. So you want to put your heading mode, in this case, put that heading bug on that big triangle, big pointy triangle, or a triangle pointing. Sorry, this is not play school. I do apologise, chaps.
Yeah, it is.
The triangle pointing upwards, basically. The bigger of the triangles. Make sure that your heading bug is lined up basically with that line and that triangle pointing upwards, because that's the heading we'll be heading towards, straight towards that VOR.
65 degrees.
As long as you're facing the same way, I'm facing the wrong way, so
I've got 56.
I've got 74 degrees.
Yeah,
No,
I've got 74. Yeah.
Yep.
75. So it's a number in green, not your heading, not the white.
All right.
It's
see
a
how
number
it's
in
set.
right.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Well,
So if you're all ready, we can keep our 1400 altitude for now.
just give me a second.
Yep.
The controller makes it jump real quickly.
Oh yeah, the controller's awful.
73.
You have to do it that way.
Is that about right? 73?
73, 74.
74.
Good.
Yep. And chaps, one more thing, just to complicate matters more. On your right G1000, you can see at the bottom of the screen there, you've got engine. You should have engine, map, options, and detail. On your right G1000, so where your map is. Put your detail to 2. We're going to unclutter that map a little bit. We're going to be using the instruments in the G1000.
Sorry, where was this button?
So
G1000.
Yeah,
Right.
right one. And what's the button I'm looking for?
Detail.
It's a very far right, third button in from the right.
Detail. So we're just going to put detail to 2. And if you range out, so mouse up, in this case, if you can, you should be able to spot our origin airport, which is LFPG. It's just you need to have your range about 25 nautical miles. You should spot LFPG.
Detail. There you are.
Yeah. About 45 degrees roughly.
Great. We're not going to fly towards that yet, but we're going to be using the map later on once we reach our VOR, basically. So we're using all kinds of navigation that's supplied to us by the G1000s.
Oh, that's very much better now.
So you said the middle line of the VOR is in line with the top and the bottom one?
Yeah. So
Yes.
and you've
One
got
straight line.
you've got
Because
2
it's
arrows. You've got 2
Because
arrows.
it's not for me. For me, it's far to the right.
Yeah, so you want to use your CDI knob on your right, on your left G1000, to the right of your left G1000.
It's the kind of triangular shaped knob.
Yeah, the one is
It's the right of my left.
Yes, I used that, and I have VOR1 in the center in green.
Yeah, that's right. That's what you want, but you want the lines conjoined. You just want to mouse up on that CDI knob, so because it will automatically conjoin the lines for you.
Where's the CDI knob?
It's the second one from the top.
On your left G1000.
No. It's not labeled well.
It's labeled.
Yeah,
See,
it's underneath the one that says
P6.
CRS. Yeah, it says CRS on it.
I think it's the only one with the triangle, I think.
It's just above the range button, yeah.
Next to the blue memory card.
That's it.
That's the one.
Yeah, you got
Jiggle
it.
it round until they line up.
Is it on fibre?
Okay, chaps, we better get a move on. Is everybody set
that's
to go?
naughty.
We'll get a move on. If you're not
Cheers,
sure,
Dave.
just follow the crowd. We'll lead you home. Don't worry. And I'll give.
Every 4 course, all's well.
Okay, so we're gonna throttle up and off we go. No, my rudder pedals are not. Oh, never mind. I'll get up in the air.
Guys, if anyone has trouble following Addison's instructions about the screen buttons, just check out the stream and I'll try and point to the buttons on my screen when he actually mentions them. So if you do struggle, there's a visual representation of where he's mentioning.
And because we're in heading mode already, if you're up in the air, just press your autopilot. It will follow your heading mode. But you may need to use a bit of vertical speed, just to make sure that you're not going to crash back into the ground. So if you're not sure of that, just get up in the air and just rise to about 1,000 feet, just to be safe. Not following heading there. Let's put it back into heading mode.
Oh, bloody flaps is sitting there. I mean, let it.
Yeah, raise your flaps if you have them, of course. And again, if you left that bearing, the DME up, if you've not touched anything, you'll see the range now to the VOR1.
Just over 27 miles.
Yep. Okay, chaps, we're going to practice now. We're going to practice a bit of everybody's favourite subject, mixture. So we're going to set our autopilot assigned altitude to 4,400 feet using the bigger knob of the Alt button. 4,400 feet, and vertical speed nails up about 1,000 feet per minute climb. Okay, chaps, I'm going to be liberal. We need to get back down again, so I'm going to be liberal with the mixture knob. It's just a bit of practice. I'm going to take it to around 60% mixture. I'm going to keep an eye on the right G1000 following the recent video I did on this. The EGT exhaust gas temperature reading now. I want to get that to the peak point while the fuel flow, I don't want that to start to descend because that means I'm going to start to lose engine power. So about 60% throttle, sorry, mixture. I'm just going to decrease my throttle slightly so my RPM's not flashing as well. Go ever so slightly. And I'm just going to try and get the biting point of that EGT, the mixture. Just so I get the maximum EGT reading.
So what is you want the maximum EGT, the maximum EGT for the setting? Okay.
Maximum EGT, and actually, you'll see your RPM slightly rise as well once you start to decrease your.
Push too rich and it will drop. Too lean and it will drop. So right in the middle, it's a higher point. Got it.
Yeah, if you're on the G1000, you'll see the fuel flow indicator as well. If that starts to drop, you know you've gone past the biting point. So I'm just
about 40%. Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. I found the biting point. If you're happy with that, chaps, it was just a bit of practice, bit of fun. We can start to descend again.
Lovely. Yeah, 50%.
Lovely.
Just to add to that, James, on the right G1000, the 3 bottom left-hand buttons, the left-hand one says engine, and then the one next to it should say lean. If you click that, that will take you into a sort of more detailed screen.
Ah, okay. So where are you there? Something I didn't know about that.
So on the right-hand G1000.
Yeah.
Underneath the engine information. So you should have engine as the left-hand most button, which gives you the summary. The next one says lean. If you click that, that gives you a more detailed picture as to your fuel usage.
Doesn't say lean for me.
Not highlighted. It's hidden.
Ah.
So it's hidden. So have you got something advanced on it or?
Oh no, you got to press engine, haven't you? Got to press engine, yeah.
Click engine, and then that will take you into
I've got it. Got it. Okay, I've pressed it. Good tip, Sean. There you go. So there you go. Letting the autopilot do it. Fantastic. Should have put that in the video.
It's still not lighted. It still won't light. It's not. I can't get those to light up. I'm afraid.
Listen, chaps, we better descend. Watch your alignments of your VOR. I've gone slightly off. Need to bring it to the left slightly, but I'm going to descend back to 1,400 feet now. Vertical speed nose down. You don't want to go too quickly here. 600 should be enough because you don't want to. It's up to you. 600-700. Let's say.
So we're dropping back down to 14,000.
Yeah, 1,400. Yeah.
Yeah, well, sorry, 14,000. Sorry.
Okay, chaps, so when we reach the VOR centre, so talk about this now, 9 nautical miles out, you'll see the green arrow, the second green arrow, so you've got a big green arrow and a smaller one underneath it. That will go behind, which means we'll be flying away from it. The green centre line will deflect left or right quickly. Means we're passing through it and we're going away from it. We need to put our heading mode to the north then, 360 degrees, because then we'll be using our right G1000 map. And when we're parallel to LFP... I'll talk about this in more detail later, but when we're parallel to LFPG, Charles de Gaulle, we'll line up... Actually, yeah, okay. Once we reach the centre of the VOR, just put your heading to the north, and I'll talk about the next part when we get there. We'll have plenty of time. Don't want to overcomplicate things now.
What heading are we on, James?
At the moment, we're following our VOR still, so we're just keeping the lines conjoined. I'm at 78 degrees, personally. 77.
On the green line, should that centre one be visible?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. You should have them all conjoined.
On my page. It still says VOR1, but...
Oh. Use your CDI knob.
I've just got the plane that obviously the bottom line there is static anyway, but there's another one that goes left and right. It doesn't seem to be there.
Is your nav frequency correct?
Your nav 1 frequency 112.9. It needs to be in yellow. CLM.
Why yellow, sure? Mine's green.
Is it green? Sorry, I'm green.
Yeah, it's green. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, thank you.
Yellow or green. See which one suits.
Yeah, I obviously must have pressed that swap button again, and I didn't realise. So thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, just take a bit of practice, really.
it's gone from 110.60 to 12. Yeah, that's it. This kind of day looks like he's skipping the trees. It's got down there quicker, isn't he?
So for those at home, if you look at your right G1000 in the stream as well, LFPG should be very visible. You should have it in the big lettering on your G1000. But we're not... Oops. Didn't keep an eye on my nav on my VOR, so I'm just going to follow it. I'm just 2 nautical miles out from it, so it's going to get very twitchy when you get closer to it. Chaps, just be aware of background noise if you don't mind, please.
Did you say Lima Papa Foxtrot Golf?
Yep. LFPG. Should be...
Because we're heading towards Lima Foxtrot Papa Kilo.
Oh yeah, no, we're just following the VOR at the moment, don't worry. Don't worry. Once we get to the centre, then we'll switch to a northerly... Mine's starting to deflect now, my VOR. That centre line's deflecting. I'm waiting for the little green arrow to go to the back of me. That's when I know I've passed through the centre. So I'm just going to wait for that green arrow to go to the little green arrow. You got 2 arrows, the little one to go to the back of my aircraft symbol. There we go, it's gone. So I'm going to go now change to 360 degrees bearing using the heading knob. I'm using a switch on my XPC, but it's the same thing. So I'm heading northward now. Is everybody following that okay?
Are you changing your heading and then clicking the heading?
Yeah, you should be in heading mode anyway, hopefully. If you're not, put it in heading mode, and once you pass through the centre, just head to a northerly, or just follow me. Head to a northerly direction.
Yeah.
I can see people doing that behind me, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting when you watch the video back, you'll see exactly what's... It's difficult, like I said, to do this via voice. I need to switch my light on, it's gone very dark where I am, just bear with me. And chaps, we need to get a move on now, because we need to enter a new code, so do pay attention for this one now. Back on your nav 1, we're going to enter the VOR for Charles de Gaulle Airport, 26 right. Did I write this down? I did, thank goodness for that. So 26 right, ILS, it's 11195. 111.95. So back on your nav 1 knobs again. 111.95. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep. Alpha uniform.
Yep. And if you activate that, just swap it. Again, it's that swap nav button above your nav knobs, basically.
111.95.
Yeah. It may not show up yet, don't worry about it. Till we get a bit closer, it's an ILS, so the range is a bit shorter. Once we get, if you look at your right G1000, you can see, hopefully, where your aircraft is in position to LFPG. LFPG is a diamond, blue diamond on my right G1000. It might be different for you. And it's just, I've got my range to 15 nautical miles on the right G1000 map.
We'll send our details down, that's why probably people won't see it, James.
Sorry, say again.
We need to up our detail level on that map to see the...
detail 2 should be fine. If you up it, you're going to get all sorts of other things on there.
Yeah, detail 2 shows fine.
Yeah, so put your range to 15 nautical miles, Steve, and it should just be outside to the left of the circle, the range circle, LFPG.
Oh, okay, I can see. Yeah, I thought we were looking for beacon rather than...
no, we're looking for the airport.
Okay, forgive me, sorry.
It should now change. Your lock 1 should change back to lock 1, which means it's locking on. Before you know it, you're going to get a line come up, and yeah, essentially just... We'll just wait till we get there. The range is a bit shorter, but you're best now looking on your right G1000 when you're parallel to LFPG. Turn towards 270 degrees within that range. It's not come up the identifier yet. We're still a bit away from it. but that's okay. That's perfectly normal.
What was that frequency?
111.95. 111.95. There you go. It's come up for me now. GAU, and I've got the line as well, so I know that the ILS is within range. And again, chaps, you're best looking on your right G1000 map screen, seeing where the airport is, LFPG. Once you're parallel to it, turn and line up the lines, basically. I'm not hearing the person talking there. If you're asking me, I can't hear you properly, I'm afraid.
I think it's someone in the background
Okay.
talking.
Is everybody okay? Is everybody following that? That identifier will flash in and out till we get a bit closer. It's only a short range on that ILS identifier, unfortunately.
Don't forget to pop your mixtures back up, folks.
Oh!
Oh, yeah.
Guess what I forgot to do, Steve? Nobody saw it, but there you go.
Yeah. Me too. Just noticed.
Right, I'm turning to the westerly heading now on the compass. I'm putting my heading bug to 270, basically. Because I'm parallel to LFPG.
You don't need to.
And I've got the line now, so I can actually line myself up. Don't use the CDI knob here, you're going to get yourself into all sorts of trouble. You need to do this manually. Line yourself up with an ILS, don't use the CDI. It's different to a VOR.
Oh, crashed your desktop, son of a...
Oh.
I'll just use the approach, I do.
Weird.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do this manually again, chaps. Bear with me, do it manually. So line up manually with that lock one with your ILS if you're on the same... Don't worry if you're not on the same page. I see a lot of you turning onto it now. That's okay. You will see the line once you've turned onto it. Hopefully.
If you're too far to the east, then you might not pick it up.
Yeah.
I was about a mile further east than 179 to get up and so I steered in towards
What runway are we landing on, please?
26 right. 26 right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sure.
What's the exact runway heading?
I've got a bearing of 262.
262?
But I'm not sure if that's exact. It's about 261, 262, I believe.
Yep. Yep, that's about right.
264 is the localizer.
Oh, okay, thanks. Great. 14 nautical miles out, so so if you didn't manage it the first time round, Steve, are you back with us? Yeah. Yeah, it's a good indication. If you got it up, if you got it showing, it means it's actually within range. You should get an old flashing at some point. This is a more snazzy ILS, so that you should get an indicator saying that your glide slope indicator is about to move down. Essentially, that's what it's telling you. So you should hear a flashing point. If you get to my point in the flight, you'll hear it, hopefully. It'll stop flashing.
Yeah, I got the flash now.
I was going to say, you might be able to hear it as well.
Yeah, that's okay. And the glide slope indicator will start moving down. After that stops flashing. It's just a nice way of telling you it's going to start moving. Beware. Hit your approach button. So it's coming to centre. I'm hitting my approach button. I'm in flaps 1. I should have mentioned that. Stage 1 flaps, but just alter your speed to get to stage 1 flaps at any point. GS is highlighting its flashing for me. It means it's locked onto the glide slope. Lock is solid green. Hands off again. So the autopilot's taking over. Seems like we've lost half the flight group. Are they back over at Orly? It's difficult to tell from this angle. Oh, we got some ahead of us. Dave, you're just about to go in there. That's great. That's one more way.
Yeah, I'm just on final.
Steve, are you back in on chat, voice chat?
Yeah, I'm back in. Yeah, I'm on.
At the end of the flight, do you want to mention the next group flight we're doing? Yeah, I think it'd be good if you're...
Yes.
Steve's officially the group flight coordinator now, so we'll mention about the next group flight coming up.
can't see the airport for the names.
Yeah.
We just call him number 2 now.
Mini-me.
I like Mini-Me. Mini-Me is a perfect one.
You should have terrain flashing. The G1000 does do a lot. It says terrain. Means don't worry about it. I've got don't sink going off, but I'm under autopilot control. There we go. And we got pronounce your name? Marcus? Is it? Coming down just ahead of me there. There we go, just getting... Dave, I'm just about to come over the top of you there. Lovely, look at that. It's almost like a synchronized landing.
It's almost like we planned it.
Yes. So off autopilot we come. I'm going to land short just to capture a few of your landing here. Oh, it's up to you chaps. If you want to try a full autopilot landing, you can go ahead with that. But it will just dump you on the runway. There we go, we're down. Come off to the left there. Quickly. And we'll jump outside. I've got the parking brake on. That should be fine. Capture people coming down. There we go. So we've got Curious Bee coming next. Good luck, my friend. And Blue Boy. Looks like Blue Boy's just slightly ahead there.
Got Ninja just ahead of me on short final.
Very nice. Blue Boy's come down. Very nice, my friend. Curious Bee, very nice. And Walker, I believe. Area 10. Very nice. Dan Lance, are you doing a full autopilot landing there? Ninja, very nice.
Not quite.
I can always tell that because you go slightly ahead of the threshold. Tango.
It could just be where I was aiming to. It's hard to see a thing in the dark, mate.
Yeah, oh, Tango, very smooth. Very nice.
Beautiful lighting, mate.
And Glass Prism.
Sure enough.
A few new names here, which is great.
It is very pretty.
Yeah.
What's the time here? 1928, 1728 UTC, and it's just lovely.
Wow.
So it'll be 9:30, would it?
No.
An hour back. 9:30 in France.
Very nice. Looks like everybody's landing safely. And we got Tony Dark Zero and Renee there, and Alan leading up the rear, I believe. Bringing up the rear. Apologies. There's got to be one slip up in my videos, haven't there?
I like the rear.
It is amazing the difference in styles between different community flights. Whereas, your community flights, you're trying to get everyone down safely. There's certain community flights where it seems to just be the aim to get as many people to crash as possible.
Trying to kill as many people.
Must be talking about Simon.
And his lemmings. There was Steve Chunses was pretty bad towards the pyramids there. I mean, he tried to kill us several times.
Oh, crikey. Yeah, well, there were a couple of new guys in. Just wanted to test their metal.
Yeah, thanks very much for that, Trinzy.
Yeah, it's fine. That's nothing compared to some of the other guys. Your flight was amazing last week, so that was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, but the Cairo one wasn't.
Oh yeah, no. Well, you had a lot on your plate. You
okay, we got
pretty
Steve.
much had to get your pilot's license.
Steve, once you've landed, you're coming in now. Once you've landed, just mention about the upcoming community flight, please, my friend. You've got Alan right behind you there. Lovely.
Okay, I'm off the controls. Can I?
Nice colour scheme there, Alan. Like a pinky.
Yeah, remember, Steve, you just have to let go of everything.
I have let go. I have let go of everything. I'm not touching anything. I'm just using the trim wheel. Come on, little aircraft.
Renee, very nice.
I'm not
Renee
touching the yoke.
and
Oh wow!
Renee and Big R there, both together, lovely. There we go. Everybody's down safely. It's good to see. So there you go, chaps. Just something a little bit different, rehearsing what we did in the previous Back to Basics videos. I hope it's been helpful. Over to Steve now for the next community flight or news on the next community flight.
Dates. So we're looking at 2 weeks, which will be the 7th, I think. Same time again, 7 PM UK, 8 PM UTC. Is that correct?
Yeah, 6 PM.
Yeah, I think 6 PM UTC. Yeah. So the chap has sorted out a flight plan with me helping him out because it's his first time. A chap called Neil Mack. Fairly new to the group. He's from the Midwest. Nice guy. Speaking to him a fair bit. So he is very. He knows the area very well. So it's we've got a little bit of canyon flying, a little bit of mountain flying, a little bit of everything. Some short bush touch and goes, and a fairly compact course. So it should be fairly interesting. The details will be that we won't put the course details up until at least sort of 4 or 5 days before. I don't know if there's going to be a .pln .lnm.pln file because he is doing this from an Xbox, and we had to revert to the actual in-sim because he couldn't figure it out. So I have a feeling you will have to rely on your VFRs, or if you get the plan yourself, just pop it in your little nav map sim. But it's fairly straightforward, the routing. You'll see the canyons, so you shouldn't get. There's not a lot of chance of getting lost. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It looks a good course. There's some lovely scenery down there. Very Star Trek-esque as you get close to the ground. So yes, 2 weeks time, 7th. Right. Usual place.
Right, chaps, you can continue this afterwards. Thank you very much. I hope it's been helpful. Any trouble you had with this flight, go and watch the video back once it's up, and you should find it quite interesting, hopefully. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. I'll see you soon.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Do you mean will everybody be drunk?
Okay, chaps, just while I've got people muted, I'm just finished up there. Yeah, so thank you to everybody who's joined me on this flight, and you can watch it back, and hopefully the quality's okay and it comes across okay. It's going to be in a more digestible form for YouTube. But yeah, great fun, and subscribe for more. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.